You clicked on this video because you are looking for your beautiful Catholic bride. The good news is she's looking for you too. The bad news is most of you have absolutely no idea what you're looking for, or you're actually looking for the wrong things. So in this video, I'm going to give you the top 8 qualities that you absolutely must look for in a Catholic wife if you're going to have a happy marriage. Going into dating, I already knew this information. That's why I was able to propose to my now wife after only 6 weeks of dating. We now have 2 kids and 1 on the way and a beautiful marriage. So if you're wondering if this works, I am living proof. If you take this information and apply it prudently, I guarantee you'll be able to speed up your dating so you can go from 0 to married in no time. This first one is really important. We have to get this right. The mistake is thinking that we can save our girlfriend. Listen, you are not her savior. She has one savior. You have one savior, Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Let me tell you a story from my own life that illustrates this beautifully. One day when Jessica and I were dating in that 6 weeks period, I texted her and just asked her what she was doing, and she said she was in line for confession. This was a green light for me. This indicated to me that this woman who I was pursuing takes her own spiritual life seriously, and that she's willing to go to confession, go to daily mass on her own. I don't have to babysit her soul. Obviously, as a husband, I'm there to encourage, to guide, to protect, to inspire. But it's not my job to babysit and to make sure that she's not falling into mortal sin around every corner. This was a green light for me. You have to make sure, it's so important, that the woman that you're dating is taking care of her own spiritual health. Otherwise, she will not be able to take care of the spiritual health of your future children. So what do you look for? Point number 1, look for a woman who takes her faith seriously and is trying to pursue a relationship with Jesus Christ on her own without you. And that leads us right into point number 2. Even if you get point number 1 right, it really doesn't matter unless you get this as well. Mistake number 2 is thinking she will clean up her act after marriage, or that marriage is somehow going to fundamentally change her personality. There's a man I know who had a woman who he was interested in, and she was chronically falling into sins of lust and viewing filth on the internet. And I asked him about this, and he said he had asked her to stop, and she really hadn't stopped yet. I told him, basically, right then, dump her. If a woman is not being chaste before you marry her, there's no evidence to show that she will be chaste after you marry her. If you were married to this woman, would you be okay with her doing this or that activity with you sitting right there in the room as her husband? If the answer is no, then do not do that activity with this woman who is not your wife. Do not put yourself in that near occasion of sin. You need to be very, very careful while you're dating, because you are basically auditioning to be this woman's protector for the rest of her life. And the number one thing you have to protect her from while you're dating is yourself, your own lust. So what to look for in a woman is a woman who is chaste towards you, because then you can be sure that she will be chaste towards men who are not her husband after marriage. Look for that. Chastity in a woman is a must-have. And point number 3, this one may be the most important one on the list, and I see this mistake made all the time in many marriages. The mistake is thinking that your marriage is a democracy, thinking that you each get 1 vote, 1 yes, 1 no, it's a tie, now we just fight. No, marriage is not a democracy. Look at Ephesians chapter 5. Clearly, the husband and the father is the head of the family. Women need to have the virtue of docility in order to be good mothers and good wives. And one green light for me in my own life, in my relationship with Jessica, is we were once hanging out with some friends, and I don't remember the context at all, but one of my good friends asked my now wife Jessica what she thought about something, and her response was, quote, "Men rule the world." Now this was funny, but my buddy looked at me and said, "Wow, you've got a really good one, good for you." And I did, and I do. My wife is amazing. She is the most beautiful, wonderful person on the planet. That's why I married her. But in our marriage, there have certainly been difficulties and disagreements, just like there will be in every marriage. Our marriage is 99% of the time A-OK, perfect, firing on all cylinders. But even for 2 of the most compatible people in the world, like me and Jessica, there are hard days. And on those hard days, it's necessary for there to be a tiebreaker. And the way that God himself has ordained it, this isn't me, this isn't men who chose this, this is Ephesians chapter 5, this is a biblical principle. It is the man who has the final say and the final authority in the house. If you're dating, obviously you're not the woman's head yet, but you should be looking for those signs, that receptivity to your lead. Because ultimately what you are getting with a wife is a co-pilot, a cheerleader, somebody who's going to be with you every step of the way, somebody who's going to be your subordinate, who you yourself are in charge of sanctifying and getting to heaven. That's what you're signing up for in marriage. It's not this 50-50 equals thing that people see going on now. This is why so many marriages in the modern culture are ending in divorce. It's because we don't have well-defined roles and we don't have strong masculine leadership and beautiful feminine docility. These are Christian virtues. These are gospel virtues. These are not something that we can just choose not to submit to because we live in the 21st century. No, women need to be docile towards their husband's lead. And when you're dating, you need to be looking for that. So what to look for specifically? Look for a woman who wants to be the queen to your king. A good queen does not usurp the king's authority. A good queen rules alongside and underneath the king. Mistake number 4. If you do not have this one, I almost guarantee your marriage will not be what it should be. Your dating will not be what it should be. The mistake is thinking that you can date a woman well, marry a woman well, who does not have a devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. If you watch my channel at all, you know that I say all the time, the final battle between the kingdom of heaven and Satan is over marriage and the family. How are you going to win the family without a good mother and wife? How are you going to do that? And how are you going to be a good mother and a good wife if you don't have the ultimate mother and wife, Mary, the mother of God, as your exemplar? If a woman does not have Mary in their life, they're going to struggle in acquiring virtue. They're going to fall. Things are going to be hard. They're going to be less cheerful in their disposition and less joyful in their spirituality. If you want to have a happy marriage, it's imperative that you screen for women who have a devotion to, or at the very least are open to, a devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. So what to look for? Look for a devotion to Mary in your future spouse. This goes for women too. Mistake number 5 is thinking that she won't talk about you the way she talks about others. What does that mean? If you have a woman who is a gossip and who every time you hang out, did you hear what so-and-so did? Did you hear this? Did you hear this? Well, 10 years from now, you're not going to be the one who she's sharing these things with. Maybe you will to some extent, but you're going to be the one who she's tattling these things about. Women get together and women talk. And a lot of the time, women talk about those things that their husbands do that drive them crazy. If the woman that you're dating now is a gossip and she can't keep a tight guard on her lips, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, down the road, you're going to be the one who is the short end of that gossip. You're going to be the one who's taking those hits to your reputation, and you do not want that. Women need to be very careful about keeping a guard on their lips so they do not gossip, and men need to be very careful about selecting a woman who's not going to be overly loquacious and just chat about all your defects to all of her friends. So what to look for? Look for a woman who speaks charitably about you and about others. Mistake number 6. This one is really going to hit home with a lot of people. Thinking that a stubborn personality is a cute trait. We already talked about how the husband is the head of the family. If you're dating a woman and she is insistent on her way, and if she doesn't get her way, she is pouty, that is going to be a sign that there is something fundamentally wrong with her, at least her being your bride, because you want a woman who has that virtue of docility. I know people who have married strong-willed women, and the women who have gotten their act together and learned to submit to their husbands and trust in them and trust in God's providence have beautiful marriages. The women who are more stubborn, who do not get that in check and who fight and who rebel every step of the way, end up with husbands who have to fight not to resent them. Because the natural order of things, the husband is the head, the wife is number 2, and the children are 3, 4, 5 in the line of command. And if you have your number 1, your first mate, is constantly insubordinate to you, that's going to teach the children insubordination as well. And it's just going to sow rancor in the family. If you want to be a good and virtuous husband, it's almost imperative that you find a good, docile, humble, not stubborn wife. So what to look for? Look for, yes, docility, but also a submission and a willingness to be corrected by you while you are dating. Obviously, while you're dating, you don't have the authority that you will have as her husband, but just keep your eyes open and ask yourself, is she the type of person that will be corrected by me in the future or not? I also want to make the point that I am not a draconian overlord in my marriage, not by any stretch of the imagination. I am often charitably corrected by my wife as well, but the point of this video is to say that there is a head in the family appointed by God himself, the Father. And the woman is the second in command. She is the subordinate of the Father. That's the way that God himself designed it. That's Ephesians chapter 5. So if you want to have a family that's successful, a marriage that's successful, this is the framework in which you have to work. And if your number 2, your wife, your queen of your kingdom, is not submitting to you, it's going to destroy your family. It's going to be a very long, very difficult marriage. So submission, docility in women is a beautiful, beautiful characteristic that you should be screening for while you're dating. Mistake number 7, I hope this doesn't offend anyone, but thinking that health is optional. I know many people who get married and right off the bat, they have fertility issues and they're not able to have a kid for 3, 4, 5 years into their marriage because they did not, through no fault of their own, maybe. A lot of people don't realize how unhealthy they are until they actually get it checked out. But you need to find somebody, if you can, who is already prioritizing their health. It's going to make your marriage much easier. It's going to make your energy much higher because, gosh, having kids is a high energy demand. It takes a lot out of you and you're going to need as much energy as you can get. So if you can slay that beast before it raises its head up, then you are ahead of the game. Look for a spouse who is healthy, who has their stuff together. Mistake number 8 is thinking that bad days are no big deal. I know many people who will fly into a tailspin as soon as something doesn't go their way, and it just ruins their mood for the rest of the day. If you are going to be in a marriage with somebody, you need to make sure that the person that you are with can handle adversity well and can go through the flames with a smile on their face as much as is possible, because you're going to have sleepless nights. You're going to have financial difficulties. You're going to have health difficulties. You're going to have the 3rd trimester of pregnancy and morning sickness. You're going to have all of it. And if you have somebody who's not able to smile through the pain at times, to recognize that God himself is in charge of all of this, ordering all things to his greater glory, if you don't have that, it's going to be a long and difficult marriage. So look for a woman who has grit. And as a bonus, and I put this one at the end, for a reason, because I think all the other 8 can be summarized into this one point, is look for a woman who has a longing to be a good and holy mother. Look for a woman who has a love for family life, who wants to be a homemaker, who wants to be the queen to your king. If she has that, odds are she has all these other 8 things that we've been talking about. And if you enjoyed that and you want to see 30 brutally honest pieces of dating advice that I wish I had known when I was single, click on this video next.